Hey guys, you still with me? Yay! Part 2 here, right? Oh my God. So I get a job at a dealership and I start learning what goes down. And this is what I want to pass on to you because it was like you know, a portion of my life where I want to say I suffered, and therefore I can pass on my knowledge and experience that I gained from that kind of weird time in my life. And rather than just let go of it without passing on this information, because I think a lot of people go through things like this and they just want so badly to put it behind them that they don't talk about it. They're just like, well, I just moved on, But if we talk about it, and there's so much stuff on YouTube that's helped me. I mean, it helped me through serious, crazy relationship shit. And there's just so much that other people have given that's helped me. And so I kind of want to take my turn and at least hopefully make a little bit of a difference here. So the first thing I want to talk about is the vulnerability. So as soon as you enter a dealership, there's a reason that the whole collective consciousness knows that I'm on a sales floor and it's competitive and I should be nervous right now and watch myself and be careful. And what we tend to do is we want to discard all of those feelings and go, no, this is cool. I can be cool. I can negotiate, or I can whatever. And so if you actually sit with those emotions when you land on that lot to look at these vehicles, you're actually going to find that all of that collective energy is there for a reason, because people have been taken advantage of daily over and over at the same dealerships, and there's no real means and real catch-all to correct any of that, and there never will be. I don't think there's ever going to be. I think the only way to steer out of that is for you to just be able to walk in and be totally have your shit together, and actually have things into place so that you can't be taken advantage of. And the main thing that's going to give you protection is to get your loan somewhere else. Get your loan through your own bank, through Bank of the West or some bank that's reputable for giving out loans. If you have bad credit, that's fine. Go to one of the lending institutions that will loan on bad credit. That happens to everybody. Everybody goes through these weird periods. So don't have shame and go to the dealer and try to hide it and hope they don't notice and then they whatever, because they'll take advantage of you. In fact, people with bad credit get taken advantage of a lot more than people with good credit. Because people with good credit are confident and proud about their good credit, and so they can discuss it more and more openly. And people with get bad credit kind of feel ashamed and stuff, and you shouldn't feel ashamed because we don't know your story. Fuck it, everybody's got some story. I have great stories about, I got my credit back, right? But it's that's just part of the world now. So I think the stigmas are gone. So what I want to say is the ways that they're going to take advantage of you on the loan. So they get commissions on the loan, and it's actually called points. But if you look it up online, Google how dealerships get paid on your loans, okay? Or what points mean for dealerships and stuff like that. So if you want to Google it and learn more about it, and I'll give you a basic synopsis of what that's going to look like. But if you forget, you'll know, just look up the word points, okay? And the word dealership, and it'll pop up. And how they take advantage of people, right? So let's say you have really super awesome credit, which would be 850 or whatever, something like that. And then you would have, say, qualify for 4.9%. So just a little bit over what the Fed rate is. That amount is what the bank would lend you. But because you went through a dealership, you signed a disclosure form that says they have the right to sell the information to the bank to get a loan. So they're buying your loan from the bank and they get paid. They're going to buy it at 9% and they're going to get that cut back. So those are the points in between, or the commission. You don't need to know the real details. You just need to know that they're going to get paid for the difference between the rate that you actually would qualify for and the rate they actually put you down on paper for. So they're going to put you down on paper, like they might come back to you on this vehicle and say, okay, we can get you in on a payment on that. And your payment's going to be like $800 a month. And you're going to be like, oh, I wanted $500. And they're going to be like, oh no, you're like, what did you say your credit score was? And they'll lie right to your face and act like you gave them poor information, like you actually had a lower credit score than you said. And you're thinking, God, I swear I had really good credit, right? So the more in between the credit is, the more gray area, the more they can mess with you. If your credit's really, really good, usually you know it and they know you know it. Because you've done something to make it that good. So, but that's not always the case. You always have to be on your guard. That difference again, so they're going to come back to you and say, okay, you know what, we went to another lender and they're going to do it for this amount. So we can get your payment down to like $710. And you're thinking, well, I wanted $500, but $710, I really fell in love with this car. It's always more than you hope. That's just how life is. And you end up signing off on a 9% loan or something. Well, you walk out of there and you're thinking that's just business as usual. And they have gaslighted you through the whole thing to believe their reality. And you are kind of the dum-dum over here that just is like a little bit doubtful, not sure what happened, just happy to get your car, and you're going to make the best of it and have a good positive attitude. And that's what they're banking on. They love people like that. The people that come in there that are super positive, they're really easy to take advantage of. So if you're kind of a little bit of a, if you're not really worried about how they're perceiving you, if you're not afraid to kind of be a bitch or whatever, they're going to have less, they're going to be a little bit less excited about working with you because you might be harder to take advantage of. And they might even punish you for that a little bit. So, and the way that looks, so let me tell you about how they can punish you. So, I can't believe they do this. This blows my mind. It's so naughty. So one of the dealerships I worked at, and it took me a long time to even get my relationship built up enough with this person for them to even tell me this. And I was like floored. So the way this is going to look is like, I'll give you an example, little story time. So if let's say you go there and you kind of fall in love with something, you sit down at the desk and they give you some numbers and you're like, well, we're going to go think about it. We're going to go have dinner and then maybe we're going to go look at another one, right? So you leave. They will take your credit information and run it through all the banks that they work with. And what that does is it dings your credit so bad that when you go to another dealership, in case you are going to go shop around, then you can't even get approved because you have just been red flagged. So you look like you're going to take multiple loans out at once, and no bank wants to lend on that kind of red flag. So you get dinged and your credit score even drops, and basically you go to another dealer, you can't even buy. So, and they can, so the person who was doing this that I was around then gloated that it serves them right because they're wasting my time. Like basically because they're wasting his time because they filled out the credit app and he had to put it in the computer and now they're going to leave and go think about it. That was like a punishment. So hello, that's pretty heavy punishment for wanting to go look around or think about it. So keep that in mind. And that's, if you sign that disclosure form, they're within their legal boundaries to do that. You would have a heck of a time trying to prove that they were up to mischief on that. And you just wouldn't be able to. And those are the kind of things that happen all the time to people. So the lending, the other ways that they will take advantage of is they have a way of, I'm gonna cut to part 3 because I need to take a quick break. All right.